Important though, and Joe, what do you think about this? I mean, Jeremy said he's not a conservative president. That's true. He's a Republican president. Is he going to be a Republican president, or is he a president who used the Republican Party as a vehicle
we'll
to power?
find out.
Yes.
A transactional president.
I think it's a little bit of both.
I think that actually he
Look at his cabinet.
is, in a sense, and people will look back, because I believe the parties, and we've talked about this a lot before, I think the 150-year duopoly is over.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And I think people are going to look back over the past 10 years and see how power in the House has switched back, and in the Senate and the presidency has switched every 2 years as the beginning of the end for the two parties. I think people are going to still look at George W. Bush as the last Republican president.
Yeah.
I think Donald Trump, by the end, will blow apart the Republican Party. And you may have Bernie Sanders doing the same. I mean, don't you think so? I think, actually, in a sense, this guy is the first independent president, most likely, that we're going to have. Because